All right, I don't believe it. The gosh darn electricity just went out. Which camera am I talking to? Electricity just went out. I'm gonna have to shut everything down and then we'll get on with this thing. I hate Texas! All right. Power's back on. This has been a very frustrating time. Oh, yeah, I wasn't recording. Okay. I wasn't recording. What a day this has been. No sooner did I get everything all set up and then start rolling, I walk in here to have a seat and the power goes out. No warning. Evidently they took the power out in the whole area because who knows why. Welcome to Texas. Everything's big in Texas. Even the mistakes. Use our Amazon link down below. When you do, it helps us out and it doesn't cost you a penny more. And after using the link, save it to your bookmarks so you can have easy access to it in the future. Thank you. Okay, before I go any further, I just want to point this out. This was taped to my doorknob on the outside the evening before the power went out. And so I didn't see this until after the power went out. And it says, community notice, Texas Electricity Customer Community Notice. And then it just kind of rambles on. Whatever you do, do not call that number. But it kind of rambles on. And as you can maybe read here, it gives you this feeling that it's the Texas Energy Bill, Senate Bill 20 people letting you know about something. It's a sales advertisement. They want to come out and see if you qualify and if your house points in the right direction. I've got 4 panels on my roof. Well, I got more than that, but they point north, south, east, and west. So at least one quadrant of my home faces south, which is the optimum for solar power. So there's no reason to come out here and see. Well, okay, my opinion, but maybe they do need to come out. But it's a sales thing. And the immediate tip-off is that you call 254-307, that number. And these numbers are definitely the Waco, Texas area. I have yet to look that up to see who that really is. But then it says texasenergybill@gmail.com. And, you know, I'm all for using Gmail. But if this was legitimately from the state Senate or the State Energy Commission, it would say texas.gov. So it makes me wonder, did they somehow put this on my door, turn off my power for a couple of hours, and then make me think maybe I had to get solar? I don't know. Was it purely coincidental, the two things happening, or were they actually coincidence that was planned? I'm not a conspiracy guy, but this makes me wonder, especially living out here. So you see, it says here, in the next 2 weeks, they'll come by to qualify homes. I bet you I'm going to get a sales guy at the door, because this kind of thing happens all the time. This is a buyer beware state, not a consumer state. I got to get used to that.
I'd buy that for $1.
Back to the video. Okay, well, today, this is what we're doing. I got a camera over here if you're wondering. There you go. A little bit of a close-up. 3-watt chip on board headlamp. Why am I showing you this? Because I found this, and if I can, I'm going to put a link to where you can get one of these at a very good price. I picked this up for $4 at the grocery store. Little story goes like this. I always go down the aisle that has camping stuff at my local store. And I saw this, and it was like $18. I was like, what? It's a stupid headlamp. Can't be that much. Well, then over, next couple times I come in, it's marked down. It had a little price thing and had a line through it, and instead of $18, it went down to $12. I thought, whoa, it's coming down. And it's the only one there like it. There are all these other updated ones next to it. And those are cycling through, and they're selling for like $20. People want those other ones. And so after, I don't know, about 2 months and a few times going in, watching the price getting X through and a new price and a new price, finally it came down to $4. I thought, I'm going to pull the trigger. While the other ones are still selling, actually they're not selling for $20 anymore. So I'm pretty sure I'll have another review with another kind of headlamp coming. But I got this for $4. The other one's there for $20. And the difference is the $20 ones have a big magnifying glass right here, so it shoots a beam kind of far out there. This one, we're going to test it today, but throws a beam wide, but it's going to penetrate the darkness. Darkness does not overcome light. Light overcomes darkness. So if it's dark out there, I think you're going to do fine with this. But before we take it out of the package and talk more about it and test it, I'm going to throw it on the table and look at the specs. You know what I like about these packages? Absolutely nothing. You get to buy it with used batteries. They say try me right on it. Try me.
Try me.
Try me. Let's get this thing open. Yeah, I know this is old school and all, but I'm going to do an unboxing. You don't mind, do you? Overall length, 2 5/8 inches. Height, 1 7/8 inches. It'll stick out from your head about 1 3/4 inches. It came with this cheap elastic band with equally as cheap plastic buckle. That's adjustable, I think. You can shorten it up, stick it around your head. We'll play with that later. Comes with this comfortable foamy pad, so when you stick it on your sweaty brow, it doesn't hurt. Or stick, I don't think. We'll try that out too. The backing piece is articulating about 90 degrees. It's not documented, but when you press on this button up here, it releases the back to expose the used AAA batteries. It takes 3 AAA batteries, used batteries included. This particular version has a COB or chip on board. The older ones used to have individual LEDs. Not anymore. It's a 3-watt chip on board headlamp. Let's hear it for the 180 ultra bright lumens as opposed to those not so ultra bright lumens. It does say here 5 light modes for a variety of tasks. White light on, white light a little lower, flashing white light so you can get a spasm. Then when you press on this side, you have a red light, perfect for astronomy use, or flashing red light in case there's an emergency. You know what I never tried? If I turn that on, if I press that, what happens? Oh, I guess it does it too. Oh, look at that. Okay. Lots of modes. I'll put this up here for just a moment so you could read the FL1 standard, whatever the heck that means. Got it? If you know what that means, leave it in a comment down below. I have no idea. I think it's real easy to put this strap on. I think. This may be why it was only $4. Oh no, there you go. It's going on there okay. You'll do something like this. Yeah, there you go. And then if your head is, oops. We'll see how this goes, guys. We'll see how this goes. Oh, there you go. You can just stick that around your fat head and it should work okay. This extra stuff, I guess to put it around your wrist. It weighs in at 2.5 ounces. with that nifty headband. You thought I was making fun, but it does say stylish and comfortable adjustable head strap right on the packaging. Oh, by the way, as an aside, you may be wondering what camera I'm using. Nikon. Well, before we go any further, I just wanted to, because I mentioned it in the specs portion, there are two different types of LED lights that have been running around. A independent LED array like this. It's been around for a long time, and now I've discovered the chip-on-board style, which is basically a whole bunch of little LEDs on a circuit board, and then there's some phosphorus kind of coating on it, and it creates this nice broad light or more dispersed light. Let's put it that way, where this here has, you know, in this case it's got 8 LEDs, so it's going to have 8 small little dots, and they just kind of look a little different. In a moment we're going to kind of compare the two, but I just wanted to let you know what the differences are, and I'll let you know at the end of this which one I think I prefer. So let me shut off all the lights. We're going to put this on my head, and we're going to give you an opportunity to see how much light it throws here in the workshop. All right, I've blacked out the workshop, except for the window over there. As you can see, there's a little bit of light coming through. So that's why I'm going to point in this direction. We'll simulate being in a dark room, and what you're seeing on camera here is a little darker, I'd say, than reality. I mean, I do see a little bit with my eyes, but hey, it's the best we can get. Let's turn on the headlamp, shall we? There you go. Now, that is a fairly good representation of how things are different when things are off and then back on again. I'm going to cycle through. This is half mode. Now, you're seeing a strobing effect. That's because the electronic shutter in the camera, you wouldn't see that in real life, and I don't see that in real life, but it is about half as much light. And then, of course, that strobing effect I'm seeing here in the workshop, and it's driving me nuts. And then, of course, that's off. Let's turn it back on. All right, so that's what that looks like. Let's see what the red light looks like. Let's cycle through this again. Here's the red light. Oh, there you go. There's the red light. It does its job. It illuminates well enough that you can see, and this would work great for astronomers, or if you're out in the woods and you just don't want to cast a whole lot of light around and give your position away as easily, and still read a map, or read things without a whole lot of super bright light. So that works out really nice. And of course, there's flashing, and you would use that in an emergency, I would say, not necessarily walking around the woods or at an astronomy star party. But I tell you what, let's take a moment. I'm going to put the LED array version and see what the difference is. Now keep in mind, this is done with the batteries that came with it. You know, the used batteries that they give you, that people have used and played with the stupid thing. So I haven't even changed the batteries, but so this is with the batteries there. The other one has old batteries in it as well. So it might be a good, real, practical example. Okay, light is out. Here's what the LED array looks like. Oh, very much a spotlight. I'm kind of moving around a little bit. And it casts a different light. Let's put it that way. So this is more for work that is right in front of you and nothing else necessarily around you. But it is a bit dimmer. But I can't attest if that's just because the batteries are a little low or not. Although these batteries are fairly fresh. And oh, there it goes a little brighter. Does it just the opposite? And even brighter yet. Okay, there you go. That's not bad. Looking around. And then, of course, strobe effect. And then off. So low, medium, high, strobe. And then the other one is high. And as you can see, very broad. I mean, just everywhere. Lots of light. So if you need a lot of light around the campsite, this may be the thing for you. Okay, right away you can see that they both cast light quite well, but in different ways. This one's a little more focused beam. This one's a little broader. Now, that's not just because this is a chip on board versus LED array. I do think, though, this was designed to be a little more focused. You could probably make this a little broader if you had a filter over it, but that's not what it was originally built for. I've actually used this when I've gone fishing, and it works really good when you're just looking, you know, you put this on your forehead or, you know, on your cap and you're looking down and you're trying to bait a hook. It's very focused and it doesn't broadly cast light. This thing, however, if you're out in the forest, it's going to cast a pretty good swath of light. And I kind of like this one a little better. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a little safer. Letting other animals, other people know that you're around, that may be a good thing. I don't know. You guys decide. But these are going out of style. They're getting harder and harder to find. These are more and more common. Now, I did say earlier that there was a version of this that has like a magnifying glass that shoots a beam. It's a little more beamed. I didn't get that one. I might end up picking one of those up and then we can do a test on that as well. Both of these things, at least at the time of making this type, are available. I'll put links to them so you can take a look. And I would say they're very practical. And let me give you a couple of examples of how they could be used in a real life situation. Now that I can see that number with my headlamp, I'm tempted to call. Should I? At least this way I won't blind anybody. What do you think? Need a little more light. There you go. Better. It's perfect when you're going on a run. Or if you get two of them, you can put one on your back and flash it red. Safety first. Okay, now maybe another practical use for those of you that are into photography or videography and like to do this kind of thing. This might be the thing at night. Okay, that wouldn't be so good. Lastly, if you're looking for some sort of headlamp, I would lean more towards AAA batteries. They're lighter weight than AA batteries. Both of these happen to, this here has a little pod that holds 3 AAAs, and AAA batteries are lighter. It would require 3 of them versus maybe 2. Some of them have 3 AA batteries. The AA batteries are bigger, heavier, and if you're wearing this on your head, and if it's too heavy, you're not going to want to wear it for very long. I will say this one's a little heavier. It's probably because it's got a little more plastic to it. This one's got a little less plastic, a little lighter weight, not too bad. Yeah, those are the things I'd consider. There you go. All right, lastly, I'm wearing a hat because I wanted to demonstrate if you're going to use one of these and you wear a hat a lot or you need to wear a hat wherever you're going, the bill of the hat will block the light. Yeah, there's really no way to mount it to the bill. So for close-up work, I would say not a very good option for over the hat. You'd have to wear it on your forehead. And then, of course, for example, you know, you do that, it's on, and then you can put your hat on, and then the bill will shadow the light up high, but you'll still be able to work down low and articulate it. I have traditionally, with a hat like this, because it has a feature where on the side it has Velcro tabs, but it's also a loop, and it works really well with a flashlight long like this where you can't flip the clip around. Now the smaller Streamlight, and you know, I'll leave a link to Streamlight as well. I love this. I use this every day, probably 10, 20, 30 times a day, and that's not an exaggeration. But what's cool about it is I can do this and clip it in. There you go. Clip that in and then turn that on. Now I have a light that wherever I turn my head, and it's attached to my hat if that's what I want, so I don't have to have anything on my forehead. All right, I know I threw a lot at you today. I want to know what kind of flashlight, headlamp, cap lamp, this kind of thing. what do you like to use? I want to know more from you guys. So leave a comment down below and let me know what you are into, what you like. I'll also have links to all of this stuff here. And I'm going to do another video as soon as I can get one that has that magnifier thing on there. I'll grab that. Don't forget there are going to be links to all this stuff. And the next video that you see is going to be up here, and I will see you over there.